Welcome to Tabletop Gaming with Juice. Today we are starting the hashtag My 30-Day World. Now, this is something that I've been really excited about doing. I love the idea of discussing world building, and the next 30 days, every single day, that's what we're going to discuss. So with that, let's get into day one. Hashtag My 30-Day World is set up. It's going to be 30 days of videos, and it's going to be for the Absolute Tabletop guys, their Kickstarter, Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin, which is a fantastic setting from everything I've been hearing for multiple years. I want to say 3 or 4 years now, from the guys over at Absolute Tabletop. And it's a world where the bad guy has taken over, and basically evil rules the world. And most people are just content in their ways, living their day-to-day life. And, you know, heroes who rise up are sometimes labeled as they say in their video, troublemakers, or, it's imagine like a vigilante taking up, arms and fighting back. Depending on the people, some people think it's a problem and it might be dangerous. Other people think they're heroes. So there's a lot of risk for a hero in that setting to stand up. So go on over to the Kickstarter. Again, it's Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin. You can probably find it by typing in hashtag My 30-Day World on Twitter and things like that, and you'll get all that. I'm also going to post a link in the description below so you guys can go straight to it. Definitely worth at least going over there and checking out. The video they did for the Kickstarter is fantastic. They have some really good, fair priced backer levels. You can get the hardcover book and the PDF and all stretch goals, I believe, at $55. If you want just the PDF, I think it's only like $20 or something through the Kickstarter. I'd have to look again. Don't quote me on that. But it's good. It's very good, very reasonable. So I also want to give a quick mention about some of my projects I have going on. So if you're new to the channel, or if you've been following the channel for a long time, you probably know, or probably would like to know, that I do a lot of other projects. I have 2 podcasts, and I have 2 YouTube channels. So my podcasts are Fathers of Tabletop, which you can search for right now on iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, all of that good stuff. We just put up our 2nd episode this weekend, and it's great. It's about Xanathar's Guide, and it's our first part. We'll have the 2nd part up soon, but it's our first part into Xanathar's Guide. It's me and Jarl of Goats. And so go on over, check out Fathers of Tabletop. And they're about an hour long, so not too long. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Also have another podcast, RPG Talk with Juce. That is about to start soon. That'll be me interviewing a new guest almost every episode. I'm sure I'll have reoccurring guests, but that's what that is. That should be up over on rpgjuice.com very soon. I'm hoping to have my first guest next week sometime. So still trying to iron out details on times and things like that. We also have Master the Game, which is a YouTube channel that I had just started. That is launching in April officially, where, in fact, it's going to be after this series. That's going to be how to optimize both as a player and a GM. It's also going to have some tips on how to do different tactics and things like that as well in that series. And ultimately teach you guys what a role-playing game is, how to understand the rules and apply them to your games. So that'll be a lot of fun to do. I'm really excited about that. And then, of course, this channel, Tabletop Gaming with Juice, which is all things tabletop RPGs. It's me talking about world building, which I've been doing a lot lately. It's me talking about games I like, reviews of products, and all that. You'll see Absolute Tabletop reviews on this channel. You'll see reviews of Dragon Age, Fantasy Age, Palladium books, Dungeons and Dragons, all that good stuff. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please subscribe and check out all my other videos. With that, let's get into my 30-day world. So my 30-day world, day 1, my elevator pitch is this. This world is an endless possibility for DMs and players alike. It has the full gamut of anything you can imagine within a European fantasy setting. But it also has dwarves from samurai culture. You have the Great Wall around the Eastern Dwarven territory. You have orcs being led by dragons, and the Serpent Sands, where magic has been been outright banned. You have the 8 Pillars of Death, who have been stopped before and are on the verge of rising again. It's this era of my world is also known as the Return of Evil. So it's a very ancient world. It's well, not necessarily high magic, but it's high fantasy, medium magic. We'll say 5th edition style magic. You can't expect magic in every single town you go to, but it is a very big part of the world. I know I'm over 30 seconds, but screw it. I can't do it in under 30 seconds. It's a world where, and it's a very ancient world. I mean, we've had peace, we've had chaos times, we've had magic, we've had all sorts of things over the duration of this world. And it stems back thousands upon thousands of years. In fact, the last peaceful or moderately peaceful era was the past 70 years, since the last time the 8 Pillars of Death were stopped. So they are on the brink of returning in a portion of my world, and as well as there is a god that is being rebuilt by a cult that is on the brink of returning as well in a different portion of my world. The orcs from the Orcs Arrow Peninsula have unified finally and are starting to march north towards Elda and the Eastern Dwarven territories. So there is that. There is pirates who are raiding into the Elven forests near the city of the Ancients. There's a war against magic by 2 rival factions. The Anvil Ringers, who many know as a faction that destroys magical items, that they don't want to end up in the wrong hands, but they also use magical items. There's also a faction called the Crusaders Against Magic, who are outright 100% against any magic. The only and it's magical items. It's not so much magic, but they do have problems with a lot of magical creatures as well. So it is a little bit still towards against all magic. It's just not quite as 100% black and white like that. There's a constant, no matter where you're at, there's some sort of conflict that is pretty serious. There are cities that are cursed that lie within very large walls. There's so much in my world that I am excited about. There is a rise of monstrous insects in the north that seems to be happening more frequently now. The return of dragons to a certain portion of my world has happened. So a lot of good stuff that I love about my world. I think it's fun. There's almost anything I would imagine playing in a fantasy setting is in my world that I would enjoy. It's made for epic adventurers, epic heroic adventurers. So for anybody who is into that kind of game where you want your players maybe to start local and go global, it's a perfect setting for that, because there are local issues everywhere, but there are, no matter where you're at, there can be global issues too. So trying to stop the big bad evil from destroying the world or taking over the world can happen in many portions of my setting. So that's what I love about it. You can play any level game you want in almost any portion of my world, and it still feels like it fits. So that's what I love about it. Wow, I went a really long time with this. So, anyways, this again is for the guys over at Absolute Tabletop. Go check out their Kickstarter, A Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin. It's going to be fantastic. The art for it looks gorgeous from what I've seen. They've done a good job over there, and they've delivered in the past ahead of time. So again, go check that out. It will probably be worth your time. In this portion of the world, I'm starting over. Now, my homebrew world, just before I get into this, is a mess. Alright, my homebrew world is an infinite, endless realm of possibilities. You have where darkness is surrounding all of... shoot. In my homebrew world, evil is lurking and it is starting to envelop everything from the outside in. Evil has come from underground. It's come from other planes, and the whole thing is it's attempting to take over what is currently there. Heroes and civilizations are known for defending themselves any means possible, usually forming short-term alliances with each other. Dang, that's 30 seconds is not long. So I bombed it. We obviously, there's no way I could have kept going like that. 30 seconds is short. Matt Click over on A Fistful of Dice was not kidding. And I'm not good at elevator pitches, apparently. I need to actually write that out, I think. This is hard. 30 elevator pitches are hard.